And we're going to come up and just start making the most enormous mountain you've ever seen. Just an almighty mountain. Lives out there in the night or day, whatever you're painting. All right, it could be day. There we go. A couple little bits. Maybe we got a little section over here. I love big canvases because you can do big mountains. Big old ginormous mountains, right? You seen these toilets? They're ginormous. We were watching Elf on Thanksgiving Day. What's your favorite Christmas movie? That's a good question, actually, right? So, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Because I'm excited to hear it. I'm going to bring this a little bit down, a little further. We want our color to come down far enough to drag in different places. Right? And then our brush can soften it out for us. If it's not long enough down here, our mountain's going to seem like it's too small. Right? So we'll cover it down with this big old enormous thing right here. I might actually have to switch to this huge palette knife to end up finishing this mountain. Watch this. Come over here, we're going to pull some of our thing down this way, scrape it up, pull it off to the side, mix it down, slapping the canvas on with this enormous knife. This is going to be fun. We'll do all the highlights with this huge sword. Whing! It's like going to battle with the canvas. Okay, now let's decide. Trying to keep my tape down over here. Alright, let's make up some crazy bits of highlights after we decide what our mountain's going to look like, right? Let's take our brush that we mixed our clouds up with, so it's got a little of that lighter blue color in it. And then, poof, just with our amount of pressure, we're going to decide how far our mountain gets to slide down and interact with our scene below, just with the amount of pressure, right? Already starting to see it come to life. Maybe we'll come down here, take this guy, pull it in another direction. It's got a little ridge, but it doesn't have to go all the way down, right? The ridge gets a little shorter and shorter and shorter as it goes back here, because maybe this guy, boom, slides right down in between here. All these crazy little ridges. Look at these ridges. They're just extending downward, intermixing, becoming a whole enormous mountain. Look at this thing. It's ginormous, right? You can't get a mountain bigger than that. Let's come down in here, grab up our guy. We're going to pull him off in the other direction, sliding it down, pulling it down on this side, away from our other ridge. All right, we got our ridge going this way, and then one side going that way. It's going to make it look 3D. I'm telling you, maybe we grab a little shadowing down over here. Just pull it down, take this guy over there, and all of a sudden, we're going to have a wicked cool little mountain ridge right there. Like a little valley inside. It's going to be so neat. Now, you don't want to do too much, right? You don't have to make it grow too insanely big. But just based off of your pressure, it will grow on this crazy little canvas right here. Right now, let's see. Grab just a little tip of that guy. Bang, just like that. There we go. Now, let's mix up a bunch of snowy color. We'll even use the giant knife. So we'll grab a bunch of our white, a little teeny bit of our blue. We'll mix those guys together down here. Just mixing all the way down to the palette. And then mix it up again, because you'll have this chunk of white that likes to hide down there. Let's grab a little touch of our darker color. Put it in there just to dull it down just a littlest bit. There we go. Now we'll have like a lightish, grayish, bluish color, right? Just like that. Now, versus our highlights, this is going to be a very kind of bluey little shadow versus our bright white snow, which we're also going to dull down, right? There we go. That's a bit more like it. Now, let's scrape up some of this snowy mix, and let's decide, I don't know, let's have all the snow go off this side. Right? Just let it whip down, come up, grab onto the canvas very lightly. Let our snow just break down the hill like that. Very fun when you do it with a big old monster knife like this guy. It's you can drop a lot of snow very quickly. All right, now I got this at Michael's. It's an artist loft knife that I found in the painting section. Just like that. That was humongous. I was like, I've never seen a knife this big look like this. And so I had to purchase it. I had to do the I had to do the influencer thing and purchase the crazy giant knife. Now we'll come up here. We're gonna have to get some more snow, you guys, or at least make up some more shadowy colors. Just like that. Whip it down, whip it off the side. Doesn't have to be the straightest angle, so I was like coming up and giving it a few little dips and bobs and little things, right? And that way we can come off of it with our other side of our ridge and have it look really, really neat. Now you want these blues to break down here. You want to have all those little broken bits. That's the fun part. That's the fun part about the whole thing. Now let's take a lot more white paint, a little bit of that blue paint that we mixed up. Let's mix it up down here into this off-white kind of bluish color. Right? Come down here, really mix it up. Very flat. Scoop it out. And we'll probably have to end up making more of this too, but in the meantime, let's grab up a little bit like that, come off of our front side of our mountain and just whip it down to Mountain Town. All right, grab a little bit here. Come down off of the back of this guy. And the more you drag it down, the more your little snowy guys are gonna light up and break along our mountain in all sorts of different ways. Look at that, that's so awesome. Just awesome. Maybe we had another little bit over here come up. Streak its way down, right? A little bit closer as we turn our little ridge. It starts working down this way. Little things, little spires come up, go down, go all sorts of ways. Getting brighter and brighter and brighter. These guys back here, you want to have it be a little bit more covered in snow. You go back and you add a little bit. Drag her down. Big old crazy little guy like that. That is where it's at right there. Big old sharp little hill right in there. Come back in, scrape up any more little white that we can get. Maybe we can get one more little bit like that to stand out in the front. Very cool. All right, before we have to go back and mix up some more. So a little bit more white, a little bit more of the blue. Come down, mix it up all crazy. I love doing these big canvases because I've always said it's like, it might seem more intimidating to do a big canvas, but when you have a big canvas, you have so many more places for mistakes to grow into something beautiful, right? That's what I always say anyway. Whip it down. Look at that. That is neat. Now, let's come back in here. We don't want to go snow all the way back into our guy, but let's whip some down off of this little guy back here. Whipping him down, getting all crazy. Don't want to have it all be bright, but we don't want to have a crazy dark spot that doesn't make any sense either, right? Now back there, we're going to overwork it with that dark paint so it kind of goes grayer versus our color out here, which we want to be a lot brighter. Whip it down, just like that. Very cool, guys. Very cool. Now, what if we had a bit of white start picking up down here over the tip tops of our shadowy little peaks, whatever these guys are down here. We need more white even. That's another thing about a big canvas. You need a lot of paint, especially if you're going to use a giant tool like this guy. Look at the size of this mountain, you guys. A little bit off the back as the light is just straining to reach. And then we'll turn all these guys that we don't like into a little bit of misty fog. You just want to have a little bit of light back here, a little bit of color. And I'll show you why coming up. Drag this guy down. It's like a glacier. Very neat. Very neat. Some of that deeper, darker, bluey shadow and throw it in where you think you need it. Man, that's cool. I like that one, guys. Mountains come out different every single time you do them. So, if you don't like it on the first go back and try it again. That's the best part about it. Maybe we'll come up along this guy and make him a little crazier, right? That way it's not a straight up line. Perfect. Now, go back, set our palette down since this mountain is bigger than me. Look at the size of this thing. It's huge. So, and it's only $3.15. You guys, that's half off. 50% off for a canvas this size. Plus, it's the gallery wrapped canvas. Okay, great. And you get a free gift. Get out of here. All right, let's take this brush like this. We're going to very lightly soften our snowy details back there, right? I always heard Bob call it details, and it just made me laugh. details as we fall back inside here. You don't want them to be so noticeable. Right? All these things that are very far away, if we just go across them with the littlest bit, little touch, right, it's going to help soften them down and make them look so much further away than right here in the front, where we necessarily don't need it to be such a clear visual. Right? We want to see all of our little details and stuff, but it doesn't need to be the clearest thing you've ever seen. Now, let's take some of those white areas that we had. Right? This is why we put them out here. We start making our little mist. Now, you have to go a little typewriter, just like you want your mountain to become. You're building it, right? Just like a typewriter, down and underneath. Come up, you grab a little bit of the mistiness, work it in, kind of building what we want our mountain to look like. It's in this hidden, shadowy, misty area. All right, see, our mist comes down here. It's going to get much brighter, so let's come drag some of that brightness across, since this area is real bright with the paint. And drag it, right? Now, we're sort of turning our brush on this downward angle and even turning it now to face the opposite direction. Now, who knows why we do that? Right? Who knows? Why would we possibly do that? Back up here. Would we want our mountain to look 3D? No. Why would we want that? Why would we want our mountain to actually look good and like it's actually popping out of our canvas? Oh, you do want that. Okay, well, that's the reason why you do it. You don't want to just continue along working everything in the same direction that we work these guys. We want to turn our brush and we want to tap them out. Right? Working our little bits down over here. And all we're really looking for is this bit of bright cloud, right, that we're going to eventually turn into a cloud back here, at the bottom of our mountain peaks. And once it's all lit up around the bottom up here, then we can bounce some of our foreground and midground off of those, and it's going to make our mountain look even further away